Hello, my name is Gabriela and in today's video I will be making cornbread. So these recipes yield will be 12 pieces and I will first start off with the dry ingredients. So for my flour, I have 1 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour. My cornmeal, I have 2/3 cup of cornmeal. For this one, it will be 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, half a cup of white sugar, and 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Then I will begin with my wet ingredients, which will be 2 large eggs, then I have my 1/3 cup of butter, but I had to brown it for this recipe, so that's how it looks like. Okay. And originally the recipe called for buttermilk, but I unfortunately couldn't find it anywhere since Thanksgiving is tomorrow. So I decided to make a substitute with heavy milk with 1 cup of heavy milk, and 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. And then over here I have my ingredients for the honey butter, so I could top it up on top of my cornbread when it's ready, which will be 1 1/4 cup of melted butter, and then 3 tablespoons of honey. Okay, and then my equipment for this video or recipe will be a loaf pan that I will be actually spreading butter, which is 1 tablespoon of butter, and I'll be using this little brush to spread it around. I'll be using 1 whisk and 1 spatula. So I already preheated my oven before I started the video. I preheated it to 375 Fahrenheit. Okay, so the first thing I will do is mix all my dry ingredients together. So I would take my biggest bowl, which right now is the all-purpose flour bowl, and I will mix my cornmeal. So I'm gonna pour that in. Gotta read real quick. So I'm gonna include all my types of powder, like the baking soda right now, my baking powder, and both sugars. So we're just gonna try to whisk this so it's fully incorporated and it's ready when we pour the wet ingredients. Okay, so once we have our dry ingredients mixed together already, we're gonna use the same whisk to mix all the wet ingredients. So we're just gonna put this on the side for now. Actually, I forgot to mix it. We'll take our biggest bowl of wet ingredients, which will be the brown butter one. I'm gonna first mix the eggs in the butter, and I will be using my spatula to get any leftover egg whites so we don't waste any product. Put this over here. Now I'll be using the same whisk that I used to mix my dry ingredients. And I'll just give that a mix. Now I will be putting my heavy milk. like very thick. Lemon juice made it very, very thick. We're just gonna mix that and do the same thing with it with the dry ingredients. Just incorporate everything. Okay, so now that we already finished mixing everything, this is what it should look like with ingredients and the dry ingredients. So now I will try to I will pour the wet ingredients into my dry ingredients so we can finally have our batter. And I will be mixing that. So I won't be using the whisk the whole time because it does get kind of thick like this. So I will actually switch it to my spatula since this is kind of hard with the whisk. Okay, so this is what it looks like in the end. Kind of like cookie dough. So now that we have the batter ready, I'm just gonna transfer it here. But first, I gotta put butter on it because we don't want the muffin, well, the cornbread to get stuck to the pan. So I'm just gonna put the whole thing of butter inside. And with my brush, I will just put it everywhere. Okay, so this is what it's supposed to look like. So I'm done with this. I'm just gonna put these two away. And now I will put our batter on the pan. So now that I put it on my pan already, I will be placing it on the oven. So here's the pan. I'm just gonna put it in the oven now. It's really hot. There it goes. So now we just wait until it finishes off baking in the oven, and it will probably take like 25 to 30 minutes, and we'll know it'll be ready when we place a toothpick, which this is not a toothpick because it's too big, but it's the only thing I have right now. And we just place it, like we just dab the muffin with it, and if it comes out dry, then we'll know it's ready. We just take it out and wait for it to cool. So while my cornbread bakes, I will just make the honey butter, which is pretty easy. I already have my melted butter, and I will mix it with the honey. So I will be using my spatula so I don't waste any honey on my plate. Well, I mean, I guess bowl. So I just mix. Well, not mixing yet, just pouring. Now I mix. And I actually had to make this video because while I was putting my phone on the tripod, which is what I'm recording right now, Siri came out and she stopped the video. So yeah. So after you mix for a bit, discard. So after you mix for a bit, again, this is what you should have. It's like very thick butter. Yeah. And after the muffin is out, cornbread, my bad. I just use the same brush that I used earlier to like spread the butter all over my pan. And I just do the same thing on top of the cornbread. It'll be very nice. So just one moment. Okay, so let's test it out for the third time. That should be good enough. So just gonna place it out. And now we just have to wait like 20 minutes for it to finish cooking since it's still hot. And it's a little bit missing. It should be good. So I actually cut it a bit. This is what it looks like. And now I'm gonna plate it. Okay, so this is how the cornbread looks. I'm gonna taste it now. Very good.